So it's freezing. Freezing. Cats are meowing. Meow. What's up, Black Cat? You alright out there? Uh-oh, maybe we should go check on them. That doesn't sound like a normal meow. Anywho, it's a cold day today. Can barely move. So, yeah, man, I need some motivational videos. A whole lot of people making videos out there. What's up, boy? You alright? Huh? You tired? You worked hard last night? Want some food? Come on. Oh, there you go. Where's the other cat at? So Rob, sorry that your Matrix dealer's not getting back with you. That's no good. I sent your video to Matrix, and hopefully they can speed your rep up a little bit. Can't ship to Canada. I still don't think we can, even though we got all the EPA stuff in place. Andrew's going to check one more time today. And Matrix doesn't like us shipping into other dealers' areas, but this seems to be a problem a lot with other dealers. Don't either stock the product that you guys want, or you know, they don't call you back. So it's all about the service, and that's what we can provide, and that's why we're shipping what we're shipping. So anywho, I thought I'd tell you a funny story. JC will like this one. But both shoulders are kicking today. When I was younger, used to be a big daredevil, I guess. I don't know. Used to try to kill myself every weekend. And we'd rent three-wheelers. Back in the old days, U-Haul used to rent three-wheeler, big reds. We'd rent those things. We'd get like 3 guys, and we'd rent one, and we'd never turn it off. You know, we'd just keep putting gas in it and just beat the crap out of it all day. And you know, we'd fly off and run into stuff. And well, my buddy Kendrick, bought a 250R, I think, three-wheeler, and it was like state of the art when they first came out. You know, with disc brakes and all that cool stuff, and big wide axle. And we were at this place, and I took that thing for a ride, and he's like, "Oh yeah, ride it. You gotta ride it." And we'd been renting those big reds, and I was hauling ass across the lake bed, and I tapped the front brakes for some stupid reason, and man, it sent me over the handlebars, and I was flying like Superman. And like Tommy Shoe says, man, you can't fly. And I was thinking about hitting the ground. I mean, that's how long I was in the air. And man, I hit the ground and started rolling, and it took about a second for that three-wheeler to catch up with me. And I knew we were rolling together, and it was just smashing me. So, damn, it's cold. So, broke my collarbone. My collarbone's sticking out of my skin a little bit there, and Kenny comes riding up on the big red. He's like, "Oh man, you wrecked my three-wheeler. Oh, look at it." And he left me sitting there. You know, I don't think you realize my collarbone was broke. But he drove off on his, you know, and it was wobbling off in the sunset there. And some little kid came over and started the big red for me. And I barely got out of this lake bowl back into the truck to hang out. And that was the first time that I broke my shoulder, and or collarbone, whatever. And my shoulder used to pop out all the time when I used to work on the floor, work on creepers. We didn't have any lifts at scooters, so for you know, about 15, 16 years, I'd lay on the ground and roll around on a creeper. And that shoulder would just pop out, you know, and I'd roll out from under the car, and he'd pop my shoulder back in, and you know, it hurt for a while. And when I stopped working on creepers and stopped doing mechanical work, that went away. You know, healed up a little bit. But I wanted to tell you the story about rubber line on a Volkswagen and why I personally don't like it. You know, one of the reasons. This is just an ass whipping I took one day, and JC will tell you that hadn't happened too often. This is the only time I can really think that I got my ass whipped really bad. I was working for Scooter, and we built the motor for a guy, and I mean dual carbs, you know, the whole works. It was a long block, real nice motor, and he brought it back to the recheck, and it had rubber fuel hose on it with hose clamps everywhere, and Scooter Fruit Looped, you know. He's like, oh. So he put all new hose on that thing, man, all new German hose, and I guess he charged the guy or whatever, because the guy came in, picked it up for the recheck, and he was flipping out, man. Said that we were ripping him off and this and that, and he didn't appreciate it, and he wanted his old fuel line on, and he just put that shit on the night before, and you know, Scooter tried to tell him about fires, and he wasn't having it, so he never throws anything out. He puts it on this little box over there, box of shame, whatever it is, and he had me go over and get the guy's hose clamps and get the guy's hose, and we were closed, so I slid the gate open, and I was doing it out front there, you know, and he just wouldn't stop, man. He just thought I put the hose on there, you know, and Scooter had actually worked on the car, and I was changing the guy's stuff back, and turned into a racial thing, and man, he stomped me. I was sitting on the ground, and he stomped my collarbone. He broke it first kick, and I had to take that guy on with one hand and a broken collarbone, dude, and he was just wearing me out. You know, I was holding my own. Take it, I only had one arm, and Scooter's not a real big guy, so he runs up to the gate, and he's got all these dogs, the Dobermans, you know. And he's like, you guys better break it up or I'm gonna let these dogs out, you know, and the dogs should have probably bit me too, but the guy was more scared of the dogs than he was Scooter, so he ended up, you know, breaking it up and putting the rest of his fuel line on out there, and he left. But I still remember that guy every time it gets cold now, and I'm remembering him today, and it really hurts. That or the three-wheelers, I don't know which one it is, but that was a rubber fuel line story for you, Greg Porter. And JC, I'm sure you're laughing your ass off. And that guy came back to the shop like 2 weeks later, and I needed something done with the front end of his car or whatever, man. And I had the biggest friggin' hammer in my toolbox out, and I was ready to throw it across the shop. And I think Scooter was actually thinking about working on the car, and he looked over at me and saw the hammer, and he goes, maybe you should get your car worked on somewhere else. But yeah, that was a true story, and yeah, it sucked. But that's a rubber fuel line story for you. So some people love it and some people hate it. But, I like the German stuff. It just looks cool, and the braided hose is much superior than the rubber. It just has the added strength of the braid on the outside of it. And if you look at some of the new top fuel hose, you know, they used to use steel braid back in the 90s, and you'd have failure every once in a while. You'd have a fitting come off or whatever have you, and they've gone to a lightweight hose with you know, carbon fiber braid on it, and it just doesn't fail. So, all right, so we're gonna try to drag our ass up out of bed and do something today. It's gonna be really hard because the brain ain't making the body move today. So I don't know, mind over matter isn't working. But I thought I'd share that little video with you. My shoulder was kicking, and I'm sure JC needs a laugh this morning. So I can't remember that customer's name, JC, but it was a K-Dron motor, and it was one of Sonny's buddies. We used to have a couple guys that all hung in a crowd, and I'm for sure it must have been one of Joey Jackson's customers or something that converted over, but it wasn't very pleasant for me. Just thought I'd share that with you guys. And again, Rob, I got Andrews on that. Okay, you got to go with the DuPont. Do what you got to do, buddy. But I'm definitely going to be talking to the Matrix people about your rep and his lack of enthusiasm. That's what you got to do, man. You know, when you don't get the response you want, you got to rattle the cage because the squeaky, what is it? The squeaky wheel gets the oil. Yeah. All right, guys.